welcome to the afternoon session on the Enterprise Service Management stream. Actually going ahead with the need for speed. So a little housekeeping up front is that we will again have all participants on mute. If you do have any questions, simply note them down, reach out to us later on when we go and have our final Q&A session in the afternoon, which is the community track where all of the product management guys will keep track with you and cover your questions. And for sure, the session is being recorded, so you will have the chance to pick up on those items afterwards. For this session, as well as for the whole afternoon track, I am your host. And in this session in particular, I am the speaker as well. So a few words to my person. I did join Matrix42 in 2018. Did join as the product manager at that point for service management and the platform. Since then, I did go on and I'm now responsible for the whole enterprise service management. It's, yeah, you already read it. I have 10 plus years experience in consulting, was with partners, was with customers as well from Matrix42. And at the end, yes, I'm at Matrix42 and I'm still happy to be here and going forward with our Agile mindset and today's presentation. Next couple minutes will show you, based on the little agenda, is this overall service management at Matrix42. Where do we position ourselves? Then our Agile DNA or the Agile DNA of Matrix42. And actually, what's the path ahead? What can you see? What can help you to speed up on your path to service management? At first, where do we see service management in Matrix42? This is our new product diamond, which at the very center is the digital employee experience. So we care of you as our customers and your customers as well, so the end users. So go ahead and see the blue thing on the right side, the bluish colored theme. There is the productivity section. So everything in enterprise service management is about productivity. We just put IT service management in there because we think it's just more to serve IT with our solutions and with the processes. So everybody in the company can really deal with it or can profit from it by using all those well-known processes. And as well, you find in the enterprise service management the other sections of software asset management, license management, and our new joiners, Firescope with the SEQ discovery and dependency mapping. So now what's the Agile DNA within Matrix42? It's all about the Agile alignment, and maybe some of you know this picture already, or it's kind of familiar to you. These are the ITIL 4 guiding principles, and really heard a lot of all those ITIL 4 practices and the change from ITIL 3 with the processes and the really hard process orientation more to being a guiding framework with the ITIL 4 guiding principles as well back in mind. And let's maybe start a little journey on the far left with a focus on value. So whatever we do, we focus on value. It's really important to go and provide you and your end users with value, whatever they do. If it's just a single click in the application, if it's a full, let's say, application within our solution portfolio, whatever we do, it's about value. And to be able to generate value, we go and start where we are. That's the most important thing. It doesn't make sense to start somewhere in the future in the considered state. You need to always look and see, what do I have? Do I maybe have already the service desk in and I want to have other departments as well onboarding? So what we call the enterprise queue management, for example. So this is, we did start on our well-known service desk practices and just put on a new solution, which is the enterprise queue management. And from there on, we did progress iteratively with feedback from your end. So we published a first release, I guess it was 2 releases ago, and said, okay, something is still missing. So we put another part of that release out with the last and the latest build. So again, we did progress, we did make small steps, small iterations. So this is really the development thing of sites. And then we sure want to go and collaborate. It's not even with you as a customer. We do hope that the tool itself helps you to collaborate and promote visibility within the organization as well. Just consider or think of the service catalog, putting out the costs of a service. This is already a step of promoting visibility. And the next thing is, again, we don't think in just IT, we do think in the whole enterprise. So this is the holistic thinking we put in. Again, on the enterprise queue management, there is an IT service which you bring to your departments on a really lean implementation, fast forward implementation. And then they simply can use, for example, as well, the self-service catalog and the portal. And just have their own users from the department go and shop. I don't know, maybe you have a reception desk using the enterprise queue management. So they simply might shop the customer meeting welcome package, which includes catering, which includes a parking lot, for example. So many things you really can offer them and help them with. And for sure, it's all about optimization and automation. We are under extreme cost pressure currently, and so are you. And therefore, it's really the key. We need to optimize things. We need to go and push for that one. And this is why we do have our workflow engine in the back, all automation, approval, or provisioning. So all those things are in there to help you to optimize and automate. And for sure, this is one of our biggest focus so far, is we need to keep it simple. We know sometimes our application might be considered as kind of complex, but we drive processes already and projects already to simplify the whole thing, to keep it, or let's say, get the ramp up times, the time your users get to know the application, much shorter, and shorten the overall implementation time then of the application. So what's it about? What's the going forward plan we do have? I did a little research and as well figured out a lot of, let's say, consultant companies and stuff. And this is actually out of a Gartner study. And they said many of those are trends for 2021 plus. And we just picked some of them, which perfectly are aligned with our strategy, by the way, anyway. So you have the total experience. You do have AI engineering, distributed cloud, for example, as well as intelligent composable business, and one of their buzzwords, which Gartner is calling the hyperautomation. And the next slides as well will show you what exactly we consider them being. So what's the definition of those points, and how you can find it within our application and solution portfolio. So what's the total experience? So total experience is actually bringing the 4 dimensions of experience together to achieve the overall best experience possible. So those 4 dimensions are the multi-experience, which comes to interaction of solutions. Then for sure, there's the employee experience. This is taking into consideration the culture, the technology, and the space employees are working in. Then we go off to user experience. This is mainly the application itself. And then there is the customer experience. So what does a user, an end user, feel when he's interacting, for example, with you as a service provider? Where can we help you? It's definitely in the multi-experience. So we can have the interaction of several solutions. Just think of service catalog, our secure unified endpoint management, or as well our new chatbot. Then this turns somehow into the overall employee experience, because we put in the technology space. You can just figure out how to move it with the culture, which you certainly do have, and the space you provide for your users. And the last one we can definitely help on is the overall user experience when working with the application. And for example, this is Marvin. Some of you hopefully already know it and know him, our web chat, or our, let's say, support chat. It's the Teams application at the back, and we do have as well a web-based chat released with the latest version. And this actually is a multi-experience. So it's not just offering Teams channel. You can just use it on any web page you want to implement it. And as Marvin goes web, Marvin even goes mobile. So these are just screens I took from one. The bigger one is from an iPad. The smaller one is really from an iPhone 8, where you do have, as soon as Marvin is enabled for the web, it's as well enabled on the mobile. So simply go ahead and use it, and give your users the experience that they don't need to search for things. They simply can talk to a person 24/7. Again, on the user experience, we did improve our dependency maps. So all the currently in place maps kind of crowded. So we cleaned them up. We did a lot of things on the icons. So working ahead, getting this done. The next big topic from Gartner as well as us is the distributed cloud. So it's again down to saving costs. So whenever you don't need to do the operations in-house or the development of applications, you can definitely save somehow your cost. What do we leverage in the cloud environments? It's actually the distribution of it. So whenever there is a public cloud, there might be cloud centers all over the world, given all those constraints of data privacy and stuff we need to fulfill. Then the service consumption might be everywhere. So I just travel here. I'm currently in Austria having our Matrix42 services, but I might be if travel is allowed once again, at our office for the Firescope guys, which is on the West Coast US. And again, I want to receive my services. I want to use them. And for sure, there is lower cost whenever somebody else is doing the job. You don't need to pay that high cost. How do we help you again, keeping track of the whole cloud environment, all those business services provided using the cloud, is with our Firescope installations and implementations. They are the GPS in your landscape. They do a persistent discovery of the services of the CIs. So it's a service, it's an asset, it's an application. It might be even a storage, and all those things come together using our secure discovery and dependency mapping. And by the way, the next slot is with Paul Yates, who will give you the details on SDDM. We as well do have our cloud expense management to help you watch your cost. It's really 3 steps. It's pretty simple and easy. You connect your cloud environment, so your AWS, your Amazon, your Google Cloud Platform, for example. Then you import all those costs from the environment, and finally, using the dashboards, using the reports and stuff, you're able to see where you can have saving potentials, for example. And this as well for the cloud guys and the overall licensing and saving costs. The session at 1:30 p.m. Is with Silke Henderson-Stünkel. Stünkel is about IBM compliance. Just jump in there, hop in there, and get the latest and greatest news about how to avoid ILMT traps. And the session after that one is the experts talk from our SAM team. So it's Thorsten Bach, Silke again, and Torben Pulverich, who will help you and guide you through all those SAM topics. Another one Gartner is really pushing hard for is the intelligent composable business. So they really say that major disruptions lead to broken services. But what kind of is this kind of major disruption? We are currently all living in such a disruption. It's COVID. We can't go simply to the office. We can't check our servers day by day. We have a lot of things to do, to consider, which we need to do on remote work. And therefore, the architecture of the services needs to be designed to be really easy and pattern-based. So whenever there is something, you need to use it like a small piece of puzzle, a Lego puzzle. You put just the pieces together, and at the end, you get a really robust business service. And this is really what the intelligent composable business is driving and heading for. How do we help you in keeping track of your business is one of the new features which will bring up end of this year, beginning of next year, is the CI configuration compliance. And it's actually pretty easy. So we have just follow the 3 pillars of detect, alert, and then we take action. So we do detect any changes on your baseline, which is an agreed status of your business service using SDDM. It might be that an application joined that business service or devices start or stopped, kind of communicating, talking to that service. We recognize this one, we go and give an alert. The alert is then pushed into the service management by, for example, creating an incident, and might be directly assigned to your cyber incident response team. And therefore, they need to take action, see what's actually happening in there. And as a last step, the 3rd pillar is just we take action, but we don't just do it based on gut feeling. We do have our processes in place. So using the change management, the change template will guide you through what do I need to do when there is a baseline change, a new talker, or when something is left. So all of these things can be put into processes, and you can just simply use them and go ahead using what you already know. AI, one of the biggest buzzwords, I guess, the last 5 to 10 years, and it will still be one of those items we need to work heavily on because it will drive our future. Let's be honest. AI will be more and more part of our business, but currently the AI projects mainly fail due to its maintainability, scalability, and the governance of it all. So it does require a lot of knowledge to, for example, keep all those models up to date, to train them, to really double check if the solutions provided are correct. And AI engineering itself, again, follows a 3-pillar approach. You do have your data ops. It's just about automation and improve the quality, get the data analytics cycle really shortened, shrink down. Then you do have model ops. This is how you really work and coordinate the activities between having the application development itself and to develop the model. So how is it, the model is, how is it reacting on, for example, a question? If you just think on Marvin, how would Marvin react or answer if you put the question in, I do have an issue, for example. So this is part of the model and how it's going ahead and working. And the last one is actually the DevOps part, where we really need to speed up on delivery and cooperation overall the company. And our whole AI engineering is covered in part as well with a feature which we will most likely call Actionable Insights. And this is part of the asset risk analysis, and it's based on 4 dimensions. So we do analyze the reliability of a service, the impact, the security, and the KPI, so the health of the service. Just easy, how many tickets or problems are created recently on it. And these are all then gathered in one application, in one portal, which is, you see just kind of a high-level mock-up here, where you get recommendations. You'll see there is maybe you do have tasks. We figure out using our data analytics that you do day after day or week after week, but you don't yet automate them. So we help you on that end. There might be some implementations how to be, for example, GDPR compliant, or for our US customers, how to be HIPAA compliant. So this is kind of a medical compliance. All those things come together in that dashboard and help you whenever you want to improve your maturity level. More details about this one will actually be given by Ken Adamson at 2:30 p.m. in the asset risk analysis presentation in our current slot. How we move on, that's hyperautomation. This is a real buzzword Gartner came up with, and I like actually what the VP said, so I'm gonna cite him up here. So hyperautomation is irreversible and inevitable. Everything that can and should be automated will be automated. This just turns in and fits in perfectly to our self-service catalog, our workflow our Matrix42 workers and the workflows themselves. So we really try and push on automation of the overall business, help the organizations to just stop having a patchwork of siloed technologies. We heard in the morning from CompuGroup that they did have a lot of applications, but they want to be one team, one group, one company going forward with their solutions. And for sure, whenever we speak digitalization, you need to have operational excellence, and this can only be achieved with resilient services and a lot of automation. How do we automate, for example, our release cycle, and how you go and move on with configuration and packages themselves is our brand new, and we just launched it today, our DevOps portal. If you keep the DevOps process in mind, so this is a high-level overview of it, there are the steps of plan, code, build, test, release, deploy, operate, and monitor. And you see, we cover all of those steps already, other than the monitor thing. So currently, we're not monitoring the overall implementation, so how your processes and the work is done, but we do all the rest. And how this will look like, I'll show a little video on how this will actually be done. So this is the DevOps portal with one of our configuration packages in that case, it's the Cloud Expense Management. You just run the installation. The system does already know where to install because you can access it directly from your Enterprise Service Management installation. So it's a quick link into the gallery. You hit the button, you're in there. you run the package. It's based on our Matrix42 configuration packages. It does its job in the background, installing everything. And even if there would be an issue, if you run into an error, you can simply roll back without any impact on your existing installation and the users. And once the installation is complete, we just click on finish and we are directly connected to our service management instance, so enterprise service management. In that part, all necessary navigation items, reports, dashboards for the cloud expense management would have been installed. But how can I use it within my own environment? You simply create one of those packages and upload this configuration package. It's pretty easy. With just a few clicks, you can upload the package, publish it, create and release, and it's available for either the whole community or maybe just internally if you flag it private. But this is really how it's been done and how easy it is using our DevOps portal. And how this is actually accomplished, Vladimir Shevchenko is currently already showing in the digital workspace platform slots. So he has the building an application part 1 to 3, so 3 sessions where you can join and see kind of hands-on how he's creating configuration on the system, and then finally exporting it and converting it to a configuration package, and then as well uploading it to our DevOps portal. This was actually already my presentation. We are in time. We always try to keep them kind of short because we want to give you the chance as well, having those 30-minute slots to get a coffee, go a little bio break, get up out of your chair. And therefore, what's next? You will have the security discovery and dependency mapping with Paul Yates at 1 p.m. Followed by Silke with the IBM compliance. Then we do have the experts talk, followed by the asset and risk analysis with Ken Adamson. And the final track really is the community track. So please bring all your questions, join us at the end of the day. I know it's a long day for you, but we're really happy to answer the questions. And just keep in mind, you will have access to the full product management of enterprise service management. The full team will be in, its PMs, its POs, it's really everybody. And just prepare your questions, come, go, and reach out to us. Again, thanks for participating that Need for Speed session on how to speed up and get an agile service management. Looking forward to be your host in the next sessions and hope you enjoy the day. Thanks.